JamieLee Curtis is walking away from Hollywood, but this isn't just a retirement, it's a warning shot. After decades in the spotlight, the Oscar-winning actress is stepping back on her own terms and calling out the industry while she's at it. She's not going quietly. She's pulling the curtain on ageism, on plastic surgery culture, on the brutal truth behind fame, and even on how her own parents, two of Hollywood's biggest stars, were discarded like yesterday's script. In a world where most celebrities sugarcoat their exits, Jamie is doing the opposite. She's dragging Hollywood's dirty secrets right into the daylight, and the timing couldn't be more powerful, because she's still getting roles, still headlining major projects, and still collecting awards. So why now? Why leave when you're on top? Because she knows something most actors don't. Because she's seen what happens when you wait too long. And because she's not going to let this town eat her alive like it did her parents. Let's break down the truth behind her graceful exit and why it's anything but peaceful. JamieLee Curtis is not fading into the background. She's choosing to walk away while the spotlight is still warm. At 66, with an Oscar under her belt for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and a sequel to Freaky Friday releasing in August 2025, she's still very much in demand. But according to Jamie, the time to go is before the world stops asking for you. In a raw, unfiltered interview with The Guardian, Jamie admitted that she's been self-retiring for 30 years. That's not just a soundbite. It's a survival strategy. For 3 decades, she's watched the way this business treats women who age, and she made a silent promise to herself. She wouldn't go out like that. She wouldn't wait for the phone to stop ringing. She's not quitting acting tomorrow, but she's been laying the groundwork for years. She's picking roles she truly cares about. She's cutting ties with anything that doesn't feel authentic. And more importantly, she's speaking up, something most actors are too afraid to do while they're still employed. This isn't a fall from grace. It's a climb down from the throne, on her own terms, before Hollywood has the chance to push her off it. Why now? Why walk away when she's more relevant than ever? According to Jamie, the answer goes back to the people who brought her into this world, her parents. Leigh and Tony Curtis weren't just celebrities, they were Hollywood royalty. Leigh was immortalized in Psycho, and Tony starred in Some Like It Hot and The Defiant Ones. But Jamie remembers the decline, not the fame. She remembers how her parents were slowly cast aside as they aged, how the industry that once loved them became cold and distant. Jamie didn't just witness it, she internalized it, watching her parents lose relevance, lose roles, and lose their sense of purpose, planted a deep fear in her. And instead of letting that fear paralyze her, she used it as a blueprint for survival. That's why she's not waiting for Hollywood to forget her name. She's leaving while it's still being printed on the poster. And in that same Guardian interview, she made it clear, "I want to leave the party before I'm no longer invited." That statement wasn't poetic. It was strategic. It was JamieLee Curtis, the last of a dying breed, telling the industry, "You won't throw me out, I'll walk out first." To truly understand JamieLee Curtis's decision to walk away, we need to rewind the clock and look at the collapse of her parents' legacies. Her mother, Janet Leigh, was once the poster girl of classic Hollywood. Her performance in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, specifically the infamous shower scene, is still considered one of the most iconic in film history. Leigh won a Golden Globe and earned an Academy Award nomination. She was a global star. But what happened after that? As she aged, the offers stopped. Roles dried up. And like many actresses of her era, she was quietly pushed out of relevance. Her father, Tony Curtis, was a Hollywood heartthrob. He starred in over 100 films, with hits like Some Like It Hot and The Defiant Ones. At his peak, he was more famous than most A-listers today. But that fame didn't protect him. As his looks faded and the studios chased younger talent, Curtis was slowly edged out. He battled addiction, health problems, and a long, very public fall from grace. Jamie has talked about the emotional toll this took on her. She wasn't shielded from it. She absorbed it. She saw firsthand what Hollywood does to legends when they age. And she made a promise to herself, never let the industry control your final act. That's why her graceful exit isn't just career strategy. It's emotional self-defense. She knows how this machine operates. and she refuses to be another discarded relic of Hollywood's obsession with youth. For JamieLee Curtis, walking away isn't weakness. It's the ultimate power move. It's how you win the game, by refusing to let it play you. But her retirement plan isn't just about age, it's about what aging looks like in Hollywood, and Jamie is furious. In the most viral part of her interview, Jamie slammed the beauty standards forced onto women in the industry, calling it a genocide of a generation of women. Her words weren't subtle. She accused the business of disfiguring women, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all in the name of youth. She spoke out against plastic surgery, filters, and digital manipulation, and she didn't exclude herself. Jamie openly admitted she had liposuction and Botox in her 20s, but instead of glamorizing it, she called it what it was: a mistake. A desperate attempt to fit into a world that punishes women for aging naturally. And the result? Decades later, women are still being erased. Not with rejection letters, but with needles and filters. Jamie sees this not as progress, but as a betrayal. And now that she's preparing to leave, she's using her voice to sound the alarm. She's even used visual protest, wearing giant wax lips in a photo shoot to mock the obsession with fillers and artificial beauty. That image? It wasn't a joke, it was a warning shot. Don't mistake her message for a mid-career slump. Jamie is still getting booked, and big. She's starring in Freakier Friday alongside Lindsay Lohan, set to premiere August 8th. She's headlining Amazon's Scarpetta series and producing a reboot of Murder, She Wrote, where she'll play the iconic Jessica Fletcher. She's got films lined up into 2026, including Ella McKay, directed by James L. Brooks. And she just wrapped a series for Prime Video. Critics still love her, fans adore her, but Curtis is already inching toward the door. Because for Jamie, success is not security. She knows Hollywood can flip overnight. You're on every billboard one month and completely forgotten the next. And for older women, the fall is faster, harsher, and almost always silent. She's not waiting to become a footnote. She's writing her final chapter while she still holds the pen. One piece of this puzzle that rarely gets talked about: Jamie's clarity doesn't just come from age. It comes from sobriety. Curtis has been sober for over 24 years. And she's been open about how her early plastic surgeries and the pressure to stay perfect fed into her addiction. She once said, "I was killing myself with drugs and alcohol to numb the feelings." But she doesn't numb anything anymore. Now she sees Hollywood for what it is: the illusion, the pressure, the cycles. She isn't deluded by the glitz. She's detached, grounded, and sharp. And that sobriety? It's the foundation for everything. Her truth-telling, her exit strategy, her refusal to play along. While others are still clinging to roles and relevance, Jamie has already moved on, mentally and emotionally. Let's be clear, JamieLee Curtis isn't retiring because she's tired. She's retiring because she's awake. And she's choosing truth over applause. In a time when celebrities try to stay relevant at all costs, clinging to franchises, rebooting careers, or hiding behind a surgeon's knife, Jamie is walking away with her dignity intact. And not quietly. She's dragging Hollywood's worst tendencies into the spotlight and forcing the industry to look at itself. She's not going to vanish overnight, but make no mistake, her countdown has already started. She'll keep producing, mentoring, maybe even acting, but only on her terms. She's redefining what an exit looks like. Her message is loud and uncomfortable. Hollywood doesn't just fail older women, it punishes them. And the only way to survive it is to leave before it can break you. She saw it happen to her parents. She won't let it happen to her. So, when you see JamieLee Curtis on screen over the next year, remember, she's not just performing, she's making a statement. Every role could be her last. Every appearance is a choice. Because she knows how this story ends. And she's already written her own version. No meltdown, no downfall, just a legend, leaving the stage on fire.